Exploring unknown tech, decoding future unicorns. Welcome to Product X, using the sharp intuition of capital and the hardcore logic of an architect to help you catch the next big event in the global tech sphere. Hello everyone, I'm Rena. Silicon Valley just saw a $1.7 billion financing round. Yes, you heard that right. $1.7 billion in a single round. But here's the twist. The man behind it is Travis Kalanick, the former Uber founder who was famously pushed out of the company. He's back with Atoms, his robotics and industrial AI company, which evolved from his earlier Cloud Kitchens venture. The round was led by a 16Z, with Ben Horowitz personally joining the board. And get this, Uber itself showed up as a strategic investor. So Vivian, want to kick us off?
Hey Rena, hey Nolan, hey everyone. Yeah, I'm a senior angel investor at Pre-Angel Fund. And honestly, when I saw this news break, my first thought was, this is so classic TK. The guy never shies away from getting his hands dirty with heavy assets.
Hey everyone. I'm a former CTO and lead architect at a major Silicon Valley tech company, and I have to say, this $1.7 billion isn't just about the check size, it's about what it's trying to build. Really excited to break it down with you both.
All right, let's get into it. Vivian, while everyone's obsessing over LLMs, why did Kalanick pick this exact moment to dive into the grueling, asset-heavy world of physical industrial automation? And with that massive check, is Wall Street buying into his personal execution magic, or is it betting big on the physical AI trend itself?
Honestly, you have to understand TK's operating DNA to make sense of this. The guy fought taxi unions and regulators city by city during his Uber days. Later with Cloud Kitchens, he went out and bought real estate across the US to build dark kitchens. He's never feared heavy assets or getting his hands dirty. And here's the thing, when he renamed the company to Atoms, it was a deliberate philosophical declaration. For 20 years, Silicon Valley's gold was in software and SaaS, but those valuations have peaked. The real multi-trillion-dollar opportunity is using software to eat into the GDP of the physical world. That's the Atoms play. And the capital structure around this deal is fascinating. Uber investing? Their biggest cost center is humans, drivers, and couriers. As Atoms builds autonomous vehicles and automated food packaging robots, Uber realized if they don't invest in TK's infrastructure, he could essentially bottleneck their future supply chain. That's why they're writing that check now. And a 16Z having Ben Horowitz personally join the board? That signals top-tier VC money is making a hard pivot toward physical AI. They're betting TK can blanket every assembly line in America with robots, just like he blanketed the globe with Uber.
Let me jump in here because there's a huge misconception out there. People hear robotics, and they think of those industrial arms on assembly lines that have been around for decades. Those machines are essentially blind executors, engineers, hard-code precise trajectories. And if a screw is off by 5 millimeters, the whole thing freezes or smashes the equipment. That's not what Atoms is building. They're building what we call embodied foundation models, specifically multimodal VLA vision language action models. The math underneath is a complete generational leap. Instead of humans writing micro-trajectories, the robot uses cameras to see the physical world, combines that with natural language instructions, and a transformer network directly outputs motor movements. If the robot sees an oil spill, it understands like a human would that it might slip and proactively adjusts its torque. It's not blindly following a path. It's actually reasoning about the physical environment.
Wait, so you're saying these robots can actually understand what's happening around them, not just execute pre-programmed moves? That's a massive difference from legacy automation.
Exactly. That's the paradigm shift. But here's the brutal part. Atoms wants to span transportation, manufacturing, food service, and warehousing. That's a nightmare from an engineering standpoint. A kitchen is all soft bodies and fluids. Heavy industry is rigid and precision-focused. They need massive, real capabilities, injecting hundreds of millions of domain randomizations into virtual sandboxes, letting the model fail millions of times in simulation before pushing the refined weights to physical hardware. That's what that $1.7 billion is really buying the data moat.
Right. And from the financial side, that capital expenditure threshold is why most VCs stayed away from this space for so long. You can't buy users or web traffic here, you're building heavy infrastructure. But here's what changes the calculus. Once this technology matures, the API-ification of the physical world becomes real. A restaurant owner or logistics manager just sends a command and robots autonomously sort, cook, and load. The entire cost structure of the real economy gets reshaped. That's the multi-trillion-dollar leverage point that has a 16Z and these big players excited.
Yeah, but there's a hidden danger that doesn't get talked about enough. If an LLM hallucinates, you laugh it off. But on a 1-ton industrial robot, a 50-millisecond stutter or a multimodal hallucination means a fatal safety catastrophe. The real engineering challenge is compressing these massive VLA models down to edge compute chips with milliwatt power budgets, while coupling them with deterministic control algorithms as a safety fallback. Zero latency coordination between the silicon brain and steel muscle. That's the ultimate exam. TK's $1.7 billion has to pass.
So we're looking at a world where physical operations get API-ified, but the technical risks around latency and safety are massive. Vivian, let's talk timeline. When do you realistically see this reshaping blue-collar labor at scale?
Honestly, I'd say we're 5 to 7 years away from true mass deployment, but the inflection point is definitely now. The capital is there, the technology is maturing, and TK is the guy who actually executes when everyone else is still planning. The question isn't if it's how fast.
Nolan, quick take on that timeline from the technical side.
I'd echo that. Sim 2 real transfer is getting better, but the edge compute problem isn't solved yet. 5 years is aggressive but possible if they throw enough resources at it.
All right, let's do a quick lightning round. Vivian, what's the most surprising thing about this deal?
Definitely, Uber showing up as an investor. That's pure theater and strategic theater at that.
Nolan, what's the single biggest technical hurdle they face?
Edge inference latency. That's the make or break.
Vivian, hot take, will TK actually succeed this time?
If anyone can, it's him. But this is way harder than Uber.
Nolan, VLA models in 3 words?
Vision language action fusion.
Last one, physical AI overhyped or for real?
For real.
For real, but hard.
All right, let's wrap. Vivian, give us a 1-sentence summary of today's topic.
This $1.7 billion is Silicon Valley's bet that the future of computing isn't just bits and code, it's about physically reshaping the real economy, and TK is the execution weapon they've chosen.
Nolan?
Adams is attempting to solve the hardest problem in AI, getting machines to understand and act in the physical world. And they're doing it with a $1.7 billion war chest, and a founder who's never lost a fight.
From the tyrant who disrupted global mobility at Uber, to the architect of Adams wielding $1.7 billion to rewrite physical industry, Travis Kalanick has proven that an apex entrepreneur's drive never truly goes out. When abundant capital, extreme operational execution, and frontier-embodied AI models collide, AI is no longer satisfied with generating text and images on a screen. It's ready to don a steel skeleton and touch this messy, rigid, vast physical world. Thanks for tuning in to today's Product X.